Welcome back to the CryptoLabs YouTube channel. We talk a lot about making money, yield farming, different DeFi protocols, bull run portfolio, making yields on that, making returns on that, etc. But there's nothing worse than losing money. There is nothing worse. And many times that topic is avoided. Everything is about making returns and making money. But what about crypto security? What about wallet security? I'm going to show you how I organize my wallets to ensure that I don't get hacked, and I don't get wallets drained, and I don't lose my money, and I don't fall into, or I limit the risk when it comes to like smart contract risks and exposure to those. So with that said, and I think my wallets are really, really simple, by the way. So I'm going to start with my ledgers. I have two ledgers, one personal and one company. This is my personal. Any profits or any long-term holdings, I'm talking some Bitcoin, some ETH, anything that's not at play in DeFi for me, anything that's super long-term holding, it goes into my one of two ledgers. Now, these ledgers do not hook up to any smart contracts. It's a mistake I see a lot of people making. Just because you have a ledger doesn't mean that it can't get drained or hacked. If you hook up to smart contracts and you don't revoke permissions, or you hook up to sketchy stuff, you can find your ledger drained. And so these ledgers are, they hold my long-term assets. This is stuff I'm holding for the next, however many years I choose to. Every asset I have a different time frame on, of course. But basically, this is the bull run bag, both personal, and I have a company wallet just to separate the two for accounting purposes and make it all simple, blah, blah, blah. So ledger, my ledger does not hook up. And a lot of people have attacked me on this, but I don't have a ledger that's run through Metamask or a hot wallet that like interacts with smart contracts. It's just, I'm on the go and I travel so much. I just don't do that. My ledgers are only for one thing: cold storage. Put it away. Don't ever think about it. I rarely look at this thing. It just sits there, and I will take some profits from different yield farms and move it onto one of two ledgers. So that's number one. Two, anything that's at play in DeFi. So let's just say my liquidity pools and different positions I'm in, whatever. I've got two Metamask accounts, one personal, one business. I have three, and then one where I test. So if there's some new protocol I want to look at and it's not fully trusted, I'll have another Metamask where I can hook up to the smart contracts, interact with it, have a look, see if I like it. Maybe it's for training purposes for our community, or if I'm exploring a new project we're potentially going to research and potentially talk about in our community, I'll use a Metamask that holds no funds. And then I have two different Metamasks, which, it just right down here. Lucas Personal, and of course, CryptoLabs Research, etc. Obviously, I have a few more because sometimes I help people out, etc., etc. I used to actually store a lot of my cryptos in this storage, but I no longer do. I also have a few different wallets, of course, Phantom Wallet. I've got a BNB or Binance Smart Chain. And so again, anything that is DeFi related, making me yield, I'll use a few different Metamasks depending on how I want to structure that, and I'll hook up to smart contracts through that. So let's just go to let's just say XtraFi as well, which there's some, that's almost a 0.25 and a 0.45 per day return. Crazy stuff. But anyways, on a few different pools on XtraFi, yield flow, whatever protocol I'm hooked up to, or whatever yield farm, if it's Uniswap, etc. That is 95% of the time through Metamask. Of course, on Sol, I'm using the Phantom wallet if I'm doing some farming, or if I'm doing something on Sol, like let's just say for Orca. And then finally, and I'm going to pull up my phone here. There we go. I've got my Tangent wallet, which is a little more, if I'm moving into DeFi, moving out of DeFi, if I'm liquidating a position, or if I'm exiting a pool, I'll typically move those assets back onto here. This is something that I'm probably going to deploy, on any given week. I'll probably be deploying some of this and bringing some back. Now, so instead of storing it on my Metamask, which is a hot wallet that does connect to different dApps and smart contracts, I'll just move those profits, or sometimes it's not profits. Let's just say I exited this position. I would move this $2,000 back over here, and then I'd go deploy it somewhere else, etc. So I kind of use this as a I don't know, it's between a hot wallet and a cold storage wallet. Now, of course, this doesn't hook up to any dApps because your Tangent doesn't, but it's super convenient. I can have the card in my wallet. I do travel a lot, so I don't always have to be hooking up my Ledger to move funds around. The Ledger, I can just out of sight, out of mind. And the Tangent wallet, I move funds on and off quite regularly, like I'd say on a daily or at least a weekly basis. And so again, this is stuff that I'll deploy. So if I'm looking for a new farm, I'll deploy it into a new farm, or if I'm kind of like exiting a position, or if the market's too volatile and I can't really guess where the ranges are, which has been the last week or two, if I want to play a little safer, or if I want to move on the sidelines for a few days or a week or so before I move back in, I'll use the Tangent wallet, which has become one of my favorite wallets that I use. So that's a bit of a look at how I manage my wallets. Really, really simple. Ledger, cold storage, doesn't hook up to any dApps, no smart contracts, set it, forget it. I have two, and then I have a third spare one in case, I don't know, I'm traveling or one gets run over or I lose one. I can quickly set up a new wallet and kind of migrate onto the new ledger. So I do have a spare one. So all the profits or anything that I'm, farming or that I'm earning get moved off of my Metamask or out of my Phantom or off my Ronin or off of whatever. And it gets moved onto either the Tangent card if I'm going to redeploy it, or it gets moved off my Ledger, out of sight, out of mind, bull run type stuff, kind of a 10x portfolio built on that. My goal was just to have 150 grand. I think we're closer to 3 or 350 in total when it comes to Ledger. I'm looking for a 10x return on that. So it'd be nice to get out of the next cycle with at least $2 million. And I use DeFi, I use this stuff to fund that, keep that growing. And so, if I'm like, oh, I made $50 today or $100 today or $200 today yield farming, to me, that's more like $2,000 because I'm looking for a 10x. I'm converting some of those assets, or I'm just moving those assets if I'm in pools where I'm earning the pairs I want, and I'm moving them to the bull run bag, which for many assets, I'm looking for a 10x. And of course, that depends on which assets. And that's it. I keep it super, super simple. Some people have a much more complex system, but to me, this has worked really, really well. Plus, I'm only dealing with trusted dApps. I mean, I'm talking Uniswaps, Trader Joe's, Pancake Swaps. And again, I have one account on Metamask where I will interact with newer protocols as I review them or test them. And, there's no funds on that Metamask. So you really can't do much to me on that front. And that's it. That's how I set it up. That's my entire bank. That's my banking system. I am the bank. And that is how I secure my bank. I hope this helped. This came from some inspiration on someone who asked this question a few days ago. By the way, you can be doing almost, there it is, 64% lending stablecoin on XtraFi. Crazy. 64% lending stablecoin on XtraFi right now. Pretty cool. If you stuck to the end of this video, you got the little bonus there. Truly appreciate you. I'm going to leave my mug in the middle here, and I'll leave some more educational videos here and here and here and here. Subscribe if this has been valuable to you, and use the comments. If you want me to create any content, answer any questions, serve you in any way, do leave the comments below. And with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate you. Peace.